Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, Tim, thank you. Thank you for the Mother's Day greeting. I so appreciate that. He's giving a shout out to all the amazing moms. Yes, Lindsay. Hey, you doing, girl? Yes, you got your joy on. All right now. All right. I love it. I love it. So here we are. Here we are. Heike. Here we are. We are in our possibly wrap up of the work part two, mommy, habits, right? And I say probably because there might be something else percolating, right? There might be a part three. Don't be surprised. There might be a part three, but we'll see. We'll see. So we started off as just a wrap up. We started off this week. I was inspired by Prince. I was in Minneapolis. I got on my Paisley Park today. Got on my Paisley Park t-shirt today. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I was inspired by one of Prince's songs, The Work Part 1. And part of the lyrics in that song is, tell me now, are you willing to do the work? Whatever's in your way, we got to go through it to get to it. We got to go through it to get to it. And part of what we can use to get through it, to get to it, are our habits. Our habits, right? And so we've been looking at the habits and what we are focusing on, right? So our habits of focus. What do you have a habit of focusing on was one of the things that we explored this week, right? What are you giving your attention to? Do you have a habit of focusing on the good? Let's develop a habit of focusing on the good, talking about the good, sharing the good, right? Let's have a habit of focusing on gratitude, right? And then we explore the habit of our feelings, right? What are the habits of our feelings? And I shared some words from Esther Hooks through the teachings of Abraham that our feelings are our emotional guidance system, that we can use our feelings to guide us, right? To guide us in the things that we want to attract into our lives. And so our feeling tone, and I say that a lot, one of the things that Emmett Fox talks about in the law of mental equivalence, our feeling tone is so powerful. It's magnetic. It is that which we can use to attract those things that we want. So do you have a habit of feeling good? Do you have a habit of feeling the feeling tone that you want to experience in your life? Do you have the habit of feeling your quality of God that all of us are embracing and embodying for 2021? What is the habit of your feelings, right? We explore that. And every time I say that, the habit of our feelings, I immediately think of Sekou's affirmation, I am habituated abundance, the feeling tone of being abundant, to make that a habit of your feeling, right? So I am habituated joy. I am habituated, whatever your quality of God is, of the divine is, that is the habit. That is the feeling tone habit that we are repeating in our lives every day, right? Because a habit is something that we routinely do, right? It's repetitive. Yes? So today we're going to explore the habit of choice. The habit of choice. So yesterday I had shared that before we came on Morning Sip, that Sekou and I had both shared with each other that we hadn't done our meditation, right? And so I said, well, let's just do it now, because we had about 10 minutes or so before the show was going to start. I said, well, let's do it now, right? Let's do a 5-minute meditation now. So we both, I went and sat down. He took his video off and we did our 5-minute meditation. But this week has also been a week of confession, right? because I had confessed some stuff this week. And after the show, Sekou made a confession to me that he now is going to share with you all. So let's keep in mind that today we're focusing on the habit of choice. Come on, Sekou.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just do that intro again. We were in the green room and we were chatting. We talked about the fact we didn't do our meditation, and she said, "Let's do 5 minutes." And I said, "Yeah, great." And then she said she found the 5-minute meditation by Muji, who's a Jamaican thought leader. And then she said, "Oh, I don't know how you can hear it," because she's got on headphones now. And as soon as she said, "I don't know how you can hear it," my mind started going like this. As soon as she said, "She don't know how I can hear it," I was like, "Don't worry about it. You just play that for you, and I'll do my own thing." All right, and then she went off camera. And when she went off camera, my mind started going even more. I was like, I got 5 minutes. I got a whole 5 minutes. Maybe I won't do a 5-minute meditation. Maybe I just do a little bit of work, and then I'll do a 3-minute meditation. I just need like 2 minutes. And then you know your mind is messing with you when you start doing stuff that you can't really explain. I don't know why I turned the camera off. Why would I need to turn the camera off? That was my mind. That was my subconscious saying, we don't want to get caught not doing the 5-minute meditation that we just talked about doing. Because I turned the camera off and I sat there and I went to the most stressful thing on my agenda. The most stressful thing, which was trying to get this show uploaded for Fisk University. And that was proving problematic. So I was like, I'm going to spend 2 minutes on that. I'm going to spend 2 minutes on that. Then I'm going to come and do a 3-minute meditation. So I went over to do that. And the next thing I knew, Reverend Mel's giving me the thumbs up. Like, "You good?" And I was like, "Oh, I did nothing. I did nothing." And so I just took a deep breath, did a quick breath. And that's all I got. That's all I got. And so the choice that I made was to focus on the most stressful thing instead of taking a break, because I had been working on the Fisk thing all the way up until SIP. Like, I already been in the space of stress and trying to figure out how to make it happen. And when she invited me to take that 5-minute meditation, I knew that that's what I needed. But I still couldn't help myself. I couldn't help but turn to the thing that was stressing me the most and spend time in that before coming out of it. And so I spent the rest of the show like playing catch up, because I'm listening, but I'm also taking notes. And so it would have behooved me to take that moment and center myself. And that's the point. Like, we have to constantly be vigilant with ourselves about the choices we make, because if we give the mind an inch, it'll give us all these convincing reasons to do something other than the thing that is most beneficial to us.
Yes, yes. Confession is good for the soul.
Yeah. And it continued, by the way. It continued because I didn't ground myself. And as soon as it was over, I jumped right back into the Fisk thing, and it went off there. And so let me just say this, because this kind of brings it all full circle. Throughout the day, I kept making the choice to focus on the stressful thing, right? I kept thinking about the worst case scenario. I was literally talking with the company about, all right, so if we don't get the show up in time, what are our options? And I could hear myself saying, stop talking about not getting the show up in time. Focus on the fact that you need to get the show up on time. Stop asking about what the plan B is. And I could only keep myself to about maybe 50% of keeping my mind focused on what I wanted the result to be. Yes, Stacy, thank you. You give it an inch. You give it an inch. You take your hand off the wheel for a second, and it's gonna go. It's gonna go. So a couple of things happened. My mom saw that I was spinning out, and she, as I was running out the door, she was like, "Take a breath and center yourself." So that helped. I took a breath in the car. I figured I only had time to take one. Because just to explain, the computer was telling me it was going to take 8 hours to upload the show. 8 hours. We had 4 hours till showtime. I'm like, what are you talking about? And the company was like, we don't know. You could just push it back to tomorrow. I was like, all right. So anyway, I get to campus, and me and the director were still having that energy around, all right, worst case scenario, we could change the date, all these things, right? And then my Morehouse brother, who was a pastor, works at Fisk now, and we connected, and he pulled out his computer, and I connected my thing to his computer, and it went, and I said, "Is it done?" I mean, in 60 seconds, it was done. Like all this stress, all this anxiety, all this, it's going to take hours. It's going to take at least an hour. It was done in 60 seconds. I didn't know what to do with myself. After all that worked up energy, I was like, well, shoot, you want to watch Kevin Hart? Like, what we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was over. So I want to bring this full circle before I give it back to you. For me, it was a lesson in not only choosing to focus on the most positive outcome, the outcome that I want, but also you have to choose to be connected to the source in the most powerful way. Because what we're talking about in real life terms is Wi-Fi versus Ethernet. I was trying to upload it via Wi-Fi, which is, out here in the cloud somewhere. And that was going to take 8 hours. His computer was plugged into the Ethernet cable, which was plugged into the wall. So he had a direct connect to source. Never mind the fact that he's also a pastor. And he also pastors at this. Never mind that. He's got a direct connect all the way around, right? And he had the most direct, and when you have the most direct connection to the divine, to the source, to whatever grounds you, things will happen like that. We had room to spare. All of a sudden, we had all this energy around, we're going to be up to the minute. We're going to get it uploaded right before it's time to go to showtime. Then all of a sudden, 60 seconds done. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to share all that testimony because I had to relearn all those lessons yesterday. And it takes so much practice, Lindsay. Yes, it takes practice to make these choices, and also awareness to realize that you're not making the choice that you need to be making when you should be making it. You got to be aware, and you got to practice, and you got to push back on yourself, and you can't give the mind an inch, not an inch, or it'll just go. So
yes. Vanessa said, producer. Yes. It is so powerful. And so that's what we're talking about today, right? The habit of choice. What are you making a habit of choosing in your life on a daily basis? Not when it's convenient, right? Not when things are just going along smoothly, right? The choices that we make when we find ourselves and like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Can we take a moment right then and there, take a sacred pause, bring ourselves back to center as Sekou's mother advised him to do, and make a choice. Make a conscious choice that is directly connected to our source, right? And the demonstration of that in the experience that Sekou had yesterday, right? With Rush having the direct connection with the cable instead of Wi-Fi, that is so our lives. We have a direct connection with the source of everything. We have a direct connection to universal mind, right? So are we choosing a habit? Are we making a habit of choosing to make our choices from universal mind? Because we are the individualized expressions of that universal mind. Our mind and God's mind is the same mind, but we got to use it. We got to use the source, right? We got to use the source. So I was looking up the definition for choice because we all, we have these words that we commonly use and we think we know all the meanings of them, right? And so I was looking for some different meanings for the word choice. And, my trusty dictionary does not, never fails me. So think about these definitions in relationship to what Sekou just shared. carefully selected. The best part of something. These are all definitions of choice. The best part of something. An alternative. So when they grade beef in the US, they give it a rating between prime and good. So having choice in the rating between prime and good. Not bad, not negative, not so-so, between prime and good. Good choice or prime choice. Both are good, right? Both are good choices. We don't have any plan Bs in there when we're saying it's either going to be a good choice or a prime choice, right? A good choice or a prime choice. When Rush showed up with that computer, he plugged into the prime choice. He plugged into the source directly. And we have the opportunity to do that every day by creating a habit. Our brains, and I want to make a distinction because someone reached out to me about my using brain and mind interchangeably. So let's make a distinction. Our brain is the organ, right? Our brain is the organ. Our mind, the mind that I'm talking about, is not the brain. It's not the brain, okay? So when I say we connect to the universal source, the universal mind, what I'm talking about is consciousness, right? Connecting to super consciousness, that which knows all there is to know, that which has the solution for everything, that which will resolve something like that. That's the mind I'm talking about, right? Because Joe Dispenza does a lot of work around the brain and how we can rewire our brains and how we can create new pathways within our brain and how that supports us with developing habits that work for us, right? So that's a level, right? That's the science around that. Beyond the science of it, what I'm talking about is the divine mind. You don't need no rewiring. You don't have to worry about any new pathways, right? The divine mind is changeless, all encompassing, all knowing, everywhere present, right? That's the habit of choosing that I'm talking about. That is the habit of choosing the good between the prime. Yes? I told y'all, our brain is a tricky booger. It is. It is a tricky booger. Our brain is wired to the past. Our brain is wired to memory. Our brain is wired to experience. And we have to consciously bring ourselves to this right now moment. To this right now moment. I want to share something that I read. This is Joe Dispenza. He said, if you want a new outcome, you will have to break the habit of being yourself and reinvent a new self, right? So in translation of that, breaking the habit of being yourself small s, breaking the habit of being your small self, breaking the habit of choosing that which doesn't support what it is that you want, right? So breaking the habit of choosing habits that are not harmonizing with what it is that you truly want to experience in your life, right? Yesterday when Sekou chose to, and you already knew it was a setup when you said 2 minutes. You already know it's a setup. It's already a setup. How many times in the past have we said to ourselves, oh, I'm just going to do this for a couple of minutes, right? That's the brain reaching into the past, right? It knows that. Here we go. Let me give you something that you know, right? Reaching into the past. We know it ain't going to take no 2 minutes. It's going to take hours, right? And in that time, you're going to be frustrated, right? And so when Dispenza says reinvent and reinvent a new self, he's talking about self with a capital S. That self that is who we truly are, right? That self that knows the power of plugging in, connecting to the source. Yes? The choice of connecting to the universal mind, of using it, right? Because we're always connected to it. We're never disconnected. We think we are. We think we're disconnected, but universal mind never disconnects from us. Everywhere we are, divine is. In every project we are doing, divine is. In every situation that we find ourselves in, divine is there too. Divine is there too. Universal mind is there, and we can plug in, make it a habit to plug into the source that will resolve it like that, right? So I love these definitions, carefully selected. So let's make a habit of choosing to carefully select what we are going to do, what we are going to put our attention on, what we are going to intend for ourselves throughout the day. Carefully select. Am I going to spend the 5 minutes and do a meditation? Or am I going to try to trick myself into thinking that it's going to take me 2 minutes to work on this, that's already taken me hours? I just need 2 more minutes, right? Carefully select. What is the experience that you want to have? Right? Because in that selection, Sekou made a choice, right? 5 minutes of centering, grounding, connecting, knowing that all is well, knowing that all things are working out for my good. Now, was that the end result? Yes. But look what he put himself through before he got there, right? We don't have to go through all that, y'all. We choose. We make the choice, right? Through our selection. And our selection sometimes is not carefully thought out because we are operating from the past. We are operating from what we did before, right? The brain is a tricky booger. It's a tricky booger. So I'm not talking about going to our organ, right? I'm not talking about going to the brain. I'm talking about going to universal mind, to make that a habit of choosing to connect, to go there first, right? That's why our daily spiritual practice is so important. It's so imperative because we set ourselves up for the day, right? We make that intentional connection, right? And it's new. Every day is new. I never have the same spiritual practice experience. Every day is a new experience for me. I may be doing my inspirational reading, my journaling, my meditation, and my prayer, but every day I'm reading something new. Every day I'm writing something new. Every day I'm having a different experience in meditation. Every day I'm speaking prayers that are new to me, right? So when we're talking about choosing, we're talking about choosing from that which is in the possibility, in the limited possibility of the universal mind, not from our small self, not from the self that is running around trying to figure stuff out. When we plugged into the universal mind, it's already done. And so it is. This is something better. Yes, divine right timing. And divine right timing is about timely. God is always timely, always timely. So that zoop, that was timely, wasn't it? It was timely. And then what happened? They were like, oh, now what we gonna do? Right? What we gonna do now? So it opened up a whole nother space to carefully select what we gonna do now, right? So are we choosing? Do we have a habit of choosing what we're focusing on? Are we focusing on the problem? Right? Or are we focusing on universal mind already having the solution? Are we in our feeling tone? What is our feeling tone about all this? Are we up in a tizzy? Or are we grounded, knowing that the universe supports us? Yes, my ABC is awareness, breath, and choice. Yes, Lindsay. Yes. Very powerful tools that support us in making choices that support whatever it is that we're doing in our lives. So let's rate our choices the way the US rates beef. Good and prime. Good and prime. Some of the choices we make are old and stale and rotten and have no nutritional value whatsoever. So it's time for us to make nutritious choices. Yes? Oh, yes. Let's make some nutritious choices and make that a habit. Make that a habit. Yes? All right. All right. So I already feel some downloads coming. So I think we got a part 3 coming up, y'all, next week. The work, part 3. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So we are choosing from universal mind. That is where we are making our choice. We are connected, always connected to that which chose us. That's what I got today in my spiritual practice this morning, that God chose me. God chose me to have this experience as. God chose each one of us to have this experience as. And every choice that is from the divine is a prime choice. So we are all prime. We are all prime choice. Prime choice. So let's choose from that place. Let's choose from that place. All right, y'all. All right. So I'm Rev Melissa, ordained interfaith minister, licensed religious science practitioner, and purpose coach. And this triune is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. So if you need support with your habits, with what you're choosing, with what you are focusing on, with what you are feeling in the world, then reach out to me, DM me, and we can set up some time to talk about it. Yes? Because we got to do something different, y'all. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, guess what? You're going to have the same thing over and over and over again. It's time to shake it up. It's time to do something new and to make a habit of newness every day. Every day is a new day. So every day we get the opportunity to choose to be that which is new in us. Yes? Oh, yes. Choose that which is new in us. Ah, all right. All right. So we're living life in joy, connected to our yes. Yes, Lindsay. God chose you, and I am grateful. You are. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're all in this together, y'all. We're all connected, right? We're all connected. And we can see that the choices that we make, they have an impact. They create their own vibration. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. I see you, Wayne. You rise too, my friend. You rise too, Jedi. I see you. I see you, Wayne. All right, y'all. So let's get into some joy news. So, Sunday, y'all. 2 for Sunday, and it is also Mother's Day. And if you missed it at the top of the show, Timothy gave a shout out to all the mothers. Thank you, Tim. So for Living Life in Joy, I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Carla May, and she is the founder of Balance Therapy. And it's a part of Soul Therapy. It's massage, birth, and wellness. She's a doula and womb advocate. So please check that out. I am so excited. She's a dear friend of mine, and it's kind of like having a reunion, right? Because I haven't seen her and talked to her in quite some time. So this is very special for me. So 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Living Life in Joy, right here on New Thought Media Network. Then at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be speaking at my spiritual home, Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living. You can go on the website, click Sunday service, for the Zoom link and you will be in the room. It also is live streamed on Facebook at Rockland's Facebook page. The topic is revolutionary love. Revolutionary love. So please join me 11:30 for that. And then May 12th, 4 a.m. Eastern Time, we're doing our meditation with the new moon on Zoom. On Zoom, y'all. It will be live streamed on YouTube. So please join me on. I forgot again. I got to do the link. Okay, y'all. So I have a habit. I have to write things down. If I say to myself, oh, I'll remember to do that, I don't remember to do it. So I'm writing it down. Zoom link, y'all will have it this weekend. You register for meditation with the moon. Okay. All right. So please support my ministry of joy. You support it by showing up here live every day. I so appreciate the love and the energy that I feel through the technology. I really do feel it. You can support my ministry by supporting my Joy line, which is on Etsy at iamrevmelissa. You can also support my Joy line by listening to my podcast. I'm going quickly. Yeah, you can support my podcast. Right now, it's the Spiritual Partnership series. That's the last series that's up right now. You can go to any podcast platform, and find me, Sit with Rev Melissa. And you can also support through a love offering. If what my work does resonates with you, if it gives you something to, get you through the day, you can support I Am Rev Melissa at Cash App and Venmo. Okay. Thank you, Gladys. I love you too, girl. All right. Also, lastly, but not least, please support New Thought Media Network. They are expanding. They are growing. They are putting out such positive, uplifting programming. So you can support them at ntmedia.org and just press the donate button. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all on Sunday, Living Life in Joy, 10:30 a.m. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.